extreme exhaustion would have had to set in to force me to sleep. Like, they are all out in the open. I would have been so panicked.
You sleep.
Through everything. No, I know.
Everything.
Welcome to Retcon Air, the plotline repair podcast. Like the name suggests, this is a podcast that takes a look at the plotlines of movies, sitcoms, books, video games, and even Broadway shows. We break down who wrote the story, how it was received by the community, and how it impacted us. We also take a walk through the main moments of each story, and of course, wrap it up by adding what we might do differently if we had the chance to repair a piece of the plotline that doesn't quite jive with us. We know that's a hell of a lot of ground to cover, so in the show notes you'll find a table of contents with the time codes to serve as a guide for each episode of Retcon Air. Sure, we'll cover comments and criticisms and even offer our own ideas for ways that we could repair the plotline in each of these stories, but myself and the people that help make this show do so because we love the pieces of work and love getting a chance to talk about them. So if that sounds good to you, stick around as we break down Jurassic Park: The Lost World. So today we meet again in this remote space, trying to do our part to observe social distancing, etc. Thanks, Rona. We really hope this episode of Retcon Air truly finds you and yours in a safe place. So today I've got here with me the spectacular Shelby. Shelby, you happy to be here?
Totally. So excited to talk about dinosaurs again.
Good. So we'll just start it off, go right into the Amory. It's a new segment we've created where we kind of quickly touch on what we're reading, watching, playing, etc. So what are you doing?
So I just finished up reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for the first time, and it was like really short. I told you I was really surprised by how short it was, but it was really good. So that was really cool. What about you, though? What have you been into?
Playing a lot of the new Marvel's Avengers game out. That's pretty much just eating up all my time at this point.
All of it.
So anyways, let's with that being said, let's head on into Writer's Room.
Yep. Now, as you likely already know, or could have at least guessed, this is the second movie release of Jurassic Park and was loosely based on Michael Crichton's novel titled The Lost World. The novel was released in 1995 with the movie following in 1997. Steven Spielberg directed, and this work was written by David Kopp.
So with that, we'll head into Deep Impact. So we're going to get into the reviews of it, how people, perceived it. I'll take the top positive. I'll let you take the top negative.
Okay.
So I'll go into the top positive. Came to us from Randy White on Common Sense Media. And Randy said, this sequel has better dinosaurs and chase sequences that are just as intense as they were in Jurassic Park. And I would agree with that. I mean,
yeah,
you would expect for each movie, the graphics and the dinosaurs and all of that to just get better, and it does. It follows suit. It visually is an improvement on the last one.
Yeah, definitely. While we were watching it last night, I had stopped annoyingly and told Bry that I thought the dinosaurs looked really cool. So you could tell there was a big improvement on now in this one.
For sure. I'm sure they, their budget was probably a little bit better on this one.
Also very, very true. Yeah. Now for the negative review, I found this on Rotten Tomatoes. Quote, The Lost World demonstrates how far CG effects have come in the 4 years since Jurassic Park. Unfortunately, it also proves how difficult it can be to put together a truly compelling sequel. End quote. Ouch. I thought that was kind of harsh.
So I'll just say this too. Out of the original trilogy of Jurassic Park, second one, this one is actually my least favorite.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So I don't know, to some extent I can kind of see it, but not as that aggressive.
Yeah, I thought the storyline was okay.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the first one. Nothing could ever top the first one.
Really brings you into this. Yeah. And then for me, the third one, I'm a huge fan of the Spinosaurus.
Yeah, so you got
Dr. Grant back.
Yes, yep.
And I don't know, the story on the third one was better than the story on the second one. Sure. Realistically, not by a whole lot.
Sure.
Both stories are kind of they'll never be as good as the first one, but I don't know. I thought it was a compelling sequel. I just thought it could have been better.
Sure.
So
That's understandable.
I don't 100% agree with this review, but I also kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah, I definitely, I can see it too.
So all that to say, there and back again.
So this movie takes place 4 years after the original disaster on Isla Nublar. The movie opens with a scene of some uber-rich family stopping in at an island during a yacht tour. Their daughter wanders off with some roast beef. Questionable. It was really light pink. And the only
I thought it was like turkey or something.
Yeah, the only roast beef I've ever seen is like a very dark brown color. So I don't think that's accurate. But anyways, she runs into some little creatures she's never seen before. She thinks that they're like a bird. But they don't have wings. But they're compies and they want her food and apparently maybe more than that. The scene changes and we see Malcolm entering the subway. A man recognizes him and jokes with him about the dinosaurs. Malcolm kind of brushes it off and he arrives at Hammond's mansion.
And here's where we get to see Tim and Lex again, a little bit more grown up, a little older.
Much more mature. They like just presented themselves so much more maturely.
For sure. They obviously, comparative to the first one, they have grown up quite a lot in these 4 years.
Yes.
Which, I mean, after going through everything you did in the first movie, understandable.
Sure, yep.
They're really happy to see Malcolm, but they're also really upset as they watch this team of suits come down the staircase. One in particular is a total dick. He turns out to be Hammond's nephew, Peter Is it Ludlow?
Ludlow.
I know they said it, but I don't remember. Anyways, Peter Ludlow. He's the worst.
He doesn't deserve to have his name pronounced right anyway, so it's fine.
I hate him. But the story they put out about the tragedy that happened on Isla Nublar and all that actually ruined Malcolm's career. And now we understand why that guy on the subway was a little dickish.
Yeah.
Malcolm is kind of firing back at him with some points. Dude tries to walk away. Malcolm grabs him, tells him that he won't forget what happened. And this line made me hate Ludlow even more.
The suit?
What was it? Be careful, this suit costs more than your education.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my god, I want to punch this dude right in his smug, smarmy face.
They cast him perfectly, in my opinion, and they wrote, whether it was taken from the book or not, I don't know, because I haven't read the novel, but he was so easy to hate. I mean,
my God,
he
right
was
out
a
of the
villain.
gate.
He was a villain in the first, 10 seconds of him being on the screen.
I hated him. All I wanted was Malcolm to punch him.
Yeah, definitely.
Really.
Or just pick him up.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
He's a small dude. Just pick him up and shake him.
Yeah.
But anyways, Ludlow now runs the show that is InGen, which...
Not a good idea.
Right.
So up in Hammond's room, we see the man himself. He's hooked up to some machines, which is really sad. Dude's
old.
Yeah. He speaks of Site B, Isla Sorna, and eventually convinces Malcolm to go along with a videographer and a field expert because his paleontologist girlfriend is already on the island. Tricky Hammond.
Not cool, dude. Not cool.
Not at all. Malcolm is seen in a storage bay speaking with the one and only Eddie, the field expert, about getting their equipment ready to go 3 days sooner than they had planned.
Which, Eddie kind of took that all in stride.
He did. He complained about it, but he did it.
Dude took it in stride. Eddie's the real MVP of this story.
Malcolm's clearly upset because he says that what was supposed to be a research mission is now a rescue mission because they have to go rescue Sarah.
Help.
Malcolm's daughter, Kelly, shows up, and we see the chaos that is their relationship. It's awful. Malcolm tried to explain to Kelly that she needs to go stay with a sitter, but... well, you'll see. Videographer Nick shows up and the team discusses their mission.
So then, scene change.
Yes, as happens frequently.
So now we move to see that the team is aboard a ferry that is kind of just taking them, their vehicles, and all their equipment to Isla Sorna. Sorna. I said Sornar.
Sornar. Not to interrupt you, but we talked about this when we were watching it too. In the storage bay that they were originally in, it looked like
warehouse.
The warehouse, yeah, it looked like there was so much equipment, and then you see this ferry, and it's 2 vehicles in the trailer.
It's the 2 light vehicles that they've outfitted for the roll cage and the bar, so if a dinosaur attacks them, it can't get into them. And then their giant RV that has another half an RV taped to the back of it. But yeah, we'll talk about the high hide later. Where is that? That's not on the ship anywhere. I understand it breaks down.
It's like a pack and play. It just like
It
folds
has
all
to
down
be.
and it's in there somewhere.
But yeah, in that warehouse, there's so much equipment. It looked like there were collectively like 5 vehicles, not including the RV being worked on.
Yeah, there was so
And
much stuff.
What I'm thinking is that my theory is that this was all that was ready. The other vehicles, just because of the 3 days ahead of time, they had to, all right, we're only going to take this thing because that's all the time I had to finish.
And that could be, and two, the more I thought about it, like there were only going to be 4 of them total anyways, so they didn't really need more than 3 or 4 vehicles.
Yeah.
2, but it just seemed like there was so much more equipment in the warehouse.
Sure does. But anyways.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. They're on the ship, traveling pretty light compared to what was in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And the captain, using, videographer Nick as a translator, basically tells them, like, hey, man, I'm not staying here. I'll pull up, I'll dock, and you guys can GTFO my ship, and then I'm out. I'm not staying here. I am docking 2 hours away, because then we also find out that they refer to this island as the 5 Deaths. So...
Yeah, that's not foreboding at all.
He tells them stories about how fishermen who get too close never return, and it's just, this island is just shrouded in death. He's not staying here. He's not about that life, and honestly, I don't blame him.
Oh, same.
So he just tells them, like, hey, man, when you're ready to leave, you just get on your little... I have a sat phone. You call me. I'll be here in 2 hours, but that's the deal.
Yep.
Take it or leave it. Which, honestly, I'm not surprised he waited till he got there to tell them that.
By the way...
Now that you've already paid me.
Right.
But anyways, so they pull in, they get everything unloaded, dude dips out, and we're given a scene of them driving these 3 vehicles across some plains, some fields, some just...
Very majestic.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot of the island, though.
It was, yeah.
So, set up a quick camp, and the 3 men take off, Nick, Eddie, and Malcolm, trying to track down Sarah, figure out where the hell she is. Mm-hmm. As they're kind of going through this little creek bed, they find some stegosauruses they're going through. And I loved this point because, like, Malcolm's so unfazed. He's already dealt with dinosaurs. It was
nothing to him. It was just more an inconvenience than anything. He's like, oh, again.
And then here we have Nick and Eddie, who are just... immediately revert back to that childlike wonder of, holy shit, there are dinosaurs on this island. And so they find Sarah, and Nick's trying to take photos, and like she's like 10 feet from him. He doesn't even see her. She scares the shit out of him. It's a whole great thing. So at this point too, Malcolm found her backpack. There's holes through it. It looks like it's been torn to hell. He asked her, like, were you attacked? She's like, oh no, it's my lucky pack. It always looks like a piece of shit. So then there's a sound. They see some baby stegosauruses. Sarah is real dumb and gets too close. But like while that's happening, and you're gonna go into it in more detail here in a second, but like while that's happening, Sarah had taken Nick's camera because it's better, and she's up there taking pictures. He's on a little camcorder recording it, and like freaking out because like, holy shit, there's dinosaurs. And Malcolm made the comment of, yeah, what did you think we were here to record? He's like, I don't know, big iguanas?
Big iguanas.
I loved it. And I think he calls them a couple fruitcakes or something.
Fruitcakes, yeah. Yeah, we were kind of talking about it. Like, I hated Malcolm in the first movie.
Yeah.
He was annoying. He played the part well, but he was just annoying.
His character was great, but I hated his character.
Yes, but then in this one, like, he was making fun of people, and I liked the way they wrote him for this.
I liked Jaded Malcolm.
Yes.
Way more than successful career Malcolm.
Sure. And I will say, I also thought it was really cool that Nick and Eddie were like so excited about the dinosaurs, and they weren't paleontologists. So in the first one, it was kind of to be expected because Sattler and Grant were paleontologists. Yeah. So like, of course, when they saw dinosaurs, they were going to be like,
oh my god, it's a freaking dinosaur.
But it was cool to see, 2 not dinosaur people see the dinosaurs and just be in such shock and awe about it.
Childlike wonder.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
So Sarah getting too close to that baby stegosaurus, like we'll talk about it more later, but it just makes me so mad.
Just had to touch it.
So mad. All is well until her camera starts making some noise as I think the film is run out or something gets stuck in it or something.
Whatever, yeah.
Baby Stego gets scared and he calls in his mommy and his daddy.
As you do.
As you do when you're scared by something you've never seen before or heard before.
We've all been there.
Sarah barely escapes the parents. Then, as they're heading back to camp, she gives this big speech about how they can't do so much as bend a blade of grass.
Yeah, they can't interact with the dinos yet. She's over there petting a stegosaurus baby.
It makes me so mad.
Also, that whole scene of it was the parents and then like a third stegosaurus, potentially a fourth. I don't know. I lost count.
There were a bunch, yeah.
But anyways, starts swinging those spiked tails at her, and like the whole scene of her climbing through the log and like the spikes from the tail come down. Like that was just a cool scene.
It was really cool. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. It looked like it was gonna hit her. Even like rewatching it, I'm like, didn't she get a scratch? Like something?
Anything?
No. Back at camp, Nick notices a fire, but who could have lit a fire?
Oh, well, that would be Kelly, Malcolm's daughter, because of course she stowed away on the trailer.
Yes.
Of course.
Of course.
To be fair, Malcolm did tell her, hey, man, you want some parental advice? Don't listen to me. Which is the worst parental advice.
But does that mean come along on this expedition that we're getting ready for that I'm clearly stressed out about?
If you're a young child who just wants to hang out with your dad, yeah,
maybe,
I think so.
Maybe.
I think that is exactly, because she even said, like, I thought you were trying to tell me something, but, like, come along when you told me not to listen to you. But anyways, so Malcolm freaks out. He doesn't want to be there. He sure as hell doesn't want his kid there. So now he's desperately trying to figure out how to get her off the island. And of course, he can't figure out how to work a satellite phone to save his life.
Which, not to interrupt you again, Grant was so bad with technology in the first one, and it seems like they made Malcolm like pick that up in this. Malcolm wasn't bad with technology in the first one, and now he's like hitting the sat phone off things. And
I don't know, man. I think it's just... It's like, I don't know. I don't know shit about a satellite phone at all.
Oh,
I've never held one in my life. Don't know the finite operations of it, but I think it's just... My understanding of it is it's not as simple as you just pick it up and make a phone call.
No, it's not.
Because like, Eddie was even telling him, like, dude, there's a whole lot of things. Like, the frequency could be wrong. The satellite coverage could be bad. It could be this. It could be that. So I don't necessarily know that it was Malcolm being shit with technology as well as he just has no idea how to work this thing, and he's reverting to the, well, it's broken. Let's just hit it till it works.
Yeah, but he wasn't like that in the first movie.
True.
This is like against his character. And then also, like, they said Sarah was like awesome with all this stuff, so you would think that he would at least have some idea, you know what I mean?
I think a lot of it too might even just be he's so freaked out and like stressed and anxiety's at an all-time high because like he wants off this island, he wants his kid off this island, he just needs to go.
He wants his girlfriend off this island.
So like I think too it's just not like please for the love of God just everything work, we need to leave.
Sure.
So like kind of like a panic, Jesus Christ, why isn't this working?
Sure.
But who knows? So anyways.
Sorry, I keep getting us off track.
No, it's fine. Normally it's me who's doing it. So anyways, he's smacking a sat phone against a car hood, trying to get to work. Eddie's yelling at him, telling him to stop it because he's going to break it.
Yeah.
Malcolm and Sarah are now inside the trailer, arguing, talking. It's funny because Malcolm's constantly telling Kelly to, go over here to give us some privacy. We need to have an adult conversation. Like, go outside. And as soon as she goes outside, what are you doing? No, get back in here. It's dangerous outside. Which kind of goes furthers my point of dude's just under a lot of stress.
Panicked. Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Right? But anyways, so they're arguing, and Kelly starts to kind of clean up because she's essentially been in this trailer for a few days.
Yeah, who knows how long it took them to get there?
At least a day. Because I can't remember how long they said the boat ride was from San Fran to this island.
I thought they said the flight was a couple hours, so a boat ride would have been even longer.
I'm going to say at least a day. So she's just been in here by herself for a day, and there's just like food
Junk.
and candy wrappers everywhere. What you would expect to find from like a teenager.
Yeah, she's a young teen.
Effectively living on her own for a day. So she's cleaning up her mess. And then she asks, like, wait, what's that sound? They stop arguing long enough to hear it, and they all step outside, and they see a whole fleet of helicopters hauling vehicles and whatnot, all with the InGen logo on the side of it. And everyone's kind of like, the hell's going on here?
Scene change, and we see Rowland, who is an avid big game hunter and leader of the expedition, in an off-road vehicle with Hammond's nephew.
Side note, I did really love the vehicles they were rolling in.
Yeah.
I want one.
Just to like ride around in our tiny backyard.
No, man, I'll drive that up and down the street every day. I'm in this borderline apocalyptic looking vehicle with
Mad Max kind of.
Yeah. All I need is like to hot glue some saw blades and like spikes to the side of it, and I can be Mad Max.
Just put Oliver on the front playing guitar.
Yes. Yes, the flaming guitar from the newest one. Oh my god, yes. I love everything about this idea. Everyone needs a bard.
Let's do it.
But
So Rowland casually points out how stupid Ludlow is while explaining that he will
glad
keep...
someone said it.
Yes. That he will keep everyone safe and make the mission a success as long as he gets the chance to hunt and kill a male T-Rex. And no questions asked. He doesn't have to explain. That's
Also, real quick, too, that whole conversation really kind of showed how well-versed Rowland is in... hunting, tracking, etc., predator behavior and all that.
Because, he's an expert, yeah.
Yeah, because Ludlow's like, on this radio telling everyone he wants base camp set up right here in 30 minutes and make it happen. And Rowland just turns around and is like, you understand we're on a game trail, right? And you understand that predators hunt on game trails, right? So we can set up here, that's fine. But we will die.
Right.
A Rex will come through and destroy us. So you can either set up here like a dipshit, or we can go over here like I'm going to do. It's your call. I don't really give a shit either way. I'm just here to hunt a Rex.
Yeah.
And instantly Ludlow's like, oh, like, what does he say? He's like, let's find a new spot, shall we?
Over and out.
Over and out. Who gave this man a radio?
Oh, gosh. So the InGen team can be seen traveling along this dino stampede, catching dinosaurs at Rowland's orders, and it's hilarious because he knows none of the names. And at first he tries. Yeah, he's
laminated packet of paper.
He's trying to flip through it, and then he's just like, and starts calling out with Friar Tuck and Elvis and...
Yeah, what was it? The Pachyosaur?
Pachycephalosaurus.
Yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm. It's just like the one with the pompadour as he just chucks the...
No, that was the other one.
Was it the other one?
The pompadour's it's like a para...
Yeah, yes. I was thinking Parasaurolophus. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
He's finally just chucks the sheet of paper. He's like, the one with the pompadour.
Elvis.
Elvis.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
I loved it so much.
That was really
and
hilarious.
Honestly, for as garbage as descriptions they were spot on. Like, you knew exactly what he was talking about.
Which again goes back to your point. Like, even when he was flustered, like, he was just like, you know what, this is not working. I'm just going to say what they look like, and everybody knows what I'm saying. So it showed that he knew what he was doing.
He could adapt.
Yes, absolutely. Our team watches it on in horror, angry that InGen would send in a team and be there to capture the dinosaurs, as Nick announces that Hammond had sent him along with some more information.
Yep, Hammond knew that this would happen.
Yep. The scene changes again, and Rowland confirms some Rex footprints with InGen's paleontologist, Dr. Robert Burke.
I love this dude so much.
Yeah, like, he is so funny to me, and I don't even know why. Like, every single time I watch the movie, I see him, and I just laugh. Like, his majestic red hair, his cowboy hat. He's just perfect.
The dude, like, he's just all about these dinosaurs, but also, like, I can't remember the name of the dinosaur that its whole thing in life is just a headbutt first.
That's the Pachycephalosaurus.
That one.
Yeah, he's like...
Yeah, like his whole description, like his spine and it attaches at, the bottom of the skull instead of the back, and when it lines up, it just, and they can boom, and then, like, you see it headbutt a guy through a car, which was amazing.
Yep.
But, like, that whole, he's, like, going on about how awesome it is. It's like, it's so cool, it's a hot, like, and then, like, it starts running at him, and he freaks out.
He's just
takes
like,
off running, like, oh shit, we gotta go.
These are real.
Which at the same time also, to me, kind of speaks to, like, him respecting the fact that these dinosaurs can destroy him.
He knows enough about him that he's like,
like, his fear is
very valid,
placed correctly.
Yes, absolutely. So since Rowland knows that there's a big Rex around, he heads off on his hunt with his dear friend Ajay.
Ajay's also the real MVP.
Real MVP. So then we see piece of crap Dieter. Roland's,
I hate him so much.
Yes, same. He's Roland's second in command.
Shouldn't be.
No, and a little compy comes up to him, and so Dieter gets out this little mini taser, and he talks to the paleontologist about how brave the compies are, and the paleontologist is like, well, they have no reason not to be, they have no reason to be scared of you.
Yeah.
So Dieter shocks him, and he's like, no, he does.
What asshole carries around a cattle prod with him?
Is that what it was?
I'm pretty sure. Well, not not the cattle prod like a farmer might have, but
Okay, I don't know.
it looks like a very modified, like, higher voltage one. Like,
okay.
This dude's just a dick. Who's going around shocking You're on an island full of dinosaurs, and your first thing to do is start shocking them?
So, yeah.
God, I hate Dieter so much.
The thought comes up, like, was he going to use it on the dinosaurs, or did he have it to, like, use it on people? Like, is that how crappy
I think a little
he
column
is?
A, little column B.
I
think he strikes me as one of those, like, sadistic dicks.
Yes.
Who just carry it around because he enjoys, like, hurting things.
He can just, like, get it out and, like, make people scared and...
I don't think it was a tool of the trade. I think he just likes it, so he carries it.
Yep.
God, I hate Dieter so much.
Well, he gets his end. It's fine.
Yeah.
So Rowland finds a Rex nest with a little baby Rex in it.
Just eating away, minding its own business, just having some lunch.
He's just happy, living his best life. And being the piece of work that Rowland is, he takes the baby back to near base camp for some reason.
Makes no sense to me because the nest is upwind and the parents will know we're here. So the trick is to make them come where we want them to come. So you abduct the baby.
Else. Well, no, even if it's stupid. It's wrong. It's wrong. Do not abduct babies. But
leave babies alone.
But like even from his point of view, like if you were gonna do that, I would take that to a secluded area, not near camp, because then you're gonna have Daddy Rex, Mommy Rex come stomping through base camp. Like how stupid it. Anyways, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. He's using the baby as bait. It's dumb.
They're in eyesight of base camp, and you're trying to lure a full-grown adult T-Rex there so you could shoot it.
An angry T-Rex.
Bruh.
An angry T-Rex because you have its baby and it's hurt.
You move way the hell over there. I don't want to be able to see you through binoculars. I want you that far away.
Stupid.
And then just double the distance.
Then just keep going for another day.
If you could kindly just leave this square mile and then just actually keep going, that would be great. I don't want the Rex anywhere near me.
Yeah, it's just dumb. It's just dumb.
God, I'm such an idiot. Anyways, Nick and Sarah, under the cover of darkness, sneak into the InGen camp, and while Hammond's nephew, that piece of work he is, okay, so Hammond's nephew is doing a broadcast to what I assume are investors.
Yeah.
Because
he's trying... board or whatever.
Yeah. Because, spoiler alert, there was an old theme park in San Fran that Hammond originally was building to have his dinosaurs. And he's like, hey, even Hammond's like, this is a bad idea. Let's take them to an island.
Let's not do this.
So, like, I hate Ludlow even more because I'm convinced that dude was shit-faced while he was doing that broadcast. Like, he was stumbling the way he was talking and walking.
You're right.
And, like, he had that cup with him. And, like, the entire rest of the film, you see him taking shots from a flask. That dude was shit-faced, doing this film broadcast with all these investors. Like, I hate you so much. You can't even take this seriously enough to sober up. God, I hate Ludlow.
And I never noticed that until you said it when we were watching it last night. And I was like, I already hated him. And now I'm like, what?
Like, bro, you have a lot of shit on the line. Maybe put the drink down.
Yeah, definitely.
God. Anyways. So while all that's happening, Nick and Sarah start opening up all the dino cages, cutting locks, opening doors, doing, some vigilante work.
Doing the Lord's work.
Let the dinosaurs out, and as I'm sure you can imagine, chaos ensues. And dinosaurs go crazy and start stampeding out of camp, destroying everything in their path. InGen had this awesome Humvee with a giant satellite dish in the back for their sat phone. It's destroyed.
Huge satellite
pretty sure
dish.
Triceratops just flips it, which, right on Triceratops.
Yeah.
Just shit hits the fan because dinosaurs want to leave camp. And, like, this shows how close Rowland is. You can see one of the cars gets blown up and is launched in the air and lands in the tree where Rowland was hunting from. Yeah. Like, bro, you are too close to camp to be pulling in a T-Rex. Also, you have all these dinosaurs in cages. Right. You need to, like, leave.
Yeah.
Anyways. So Rowland comes back into camp, tells Dieter that's the last time he ever leaves him in charge, which, bro, you shouldn't have left him in charge in the first place.
Yep.
Nick and Sarah have obviously taken off at this point, but in the process of leaving, Nick found the baby T-Rex and realizes its leg has been broken because that was the other thing. Rowland not only abducted a baby T-Rex, but broke its leg.
Don't abduct babies and don't hurt them.
Like how pissed off are you trying to make the T-Rex parents here?
Honestly.
Jesus, dude. And I get it's probably like it's more of like a I don't want to say a big game hunting thing, because I think it's just a Rowland thing. But like, he left a really nice bottle of scotch next to the baby T-Rex.
Yeah, and again,
and like the glass there, so I assume it's so he could have a celebratory drink after he drops Dad Rex. But like, bro,
it makes me so mad.
Your arrogance is pissing me off.
It makes me so mad.
Anyways, so Nick, I don't know how he got into the water, but he is wading through chest deep water, holding a baby T-Rex to make it back to where Sarah is. And even she's like, what the hell are you doing? Yeah. And he's like, the leg's broken. We got to fix it. So they put it in the car. They take it back to camp. They go zipping past Eddie. He's finishing setting up the high-hide. And even like, you can hear the baby Rex freaking out in the back of the car. He's sitting there like, what the hell is that?
Yep.
So now they're back at camp with the baby Rex. What could go wrong?
Yeah. So they bring the baby Rex into the trailer where Malcolm and Kelly were, and both Malcolm and Kelly are just like,
what the hell?
Wait, what? We find out that Sarah has knowledge of medicine, which I don't think was ever really explained, and I kind of was shocked by.
If it was, we both missed it. I know Hammond was, talking about how well versed she is in like
predators,
studying predatory animals, and like how she knows how to, camp near them with relative safety.
Sure.
And like, she's very versed in animals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't notice if they ever really talked about. I wonder if it's not necessarily like medicine in general. It's very specifically like maybe veterinary based medicine. Because really all it is, she uses, was it like an ultrasound thing or whatever to find where where the fracture on the bone is, and she makes a comment like, we need to reset it, otherwise this is going to heal wrong, and she goes into a full-on description of like, if
that's
it
what I was
heals wrong,
shocked by.
It can't pivot on its leg, it can't do this, can't do that, it's going to die.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, maybe it's not so much like a legit like in-depth medicine, but more of like from a veterinary stance, which would make sense for how well versed in animals she is.
But I understand that it would be veterinary medicine, not like human medicine, but you would think that would have been mentioned, that was something she was good at.
At no point did they say like, hey, she also has, this degree,
this knowledge
in
or
fixing
whatever.
Animals up so they're not broken so bad. I don't know, man. Either way, she knows how to set a broken bone. So, I mean, realistically, if I'm plotting a team to go into dinosaur country, she's on my list.
But she knew like the drugs and stuff too. She talked about like the right dosage to give him, and the amoxicillin, and like all these. It just
because they were giving it morphine, and the dinosaur wasn't chilling out, and Nick's like, just give him more morphine, and her whole thing is like, if I give him more morphine, solid chance he's going to die.
Right.
So like, I don't know, her vast medicine-based knowledge deserved some sort of honorable mention at some point in time prior to this.
Or even now, she could have said like, oh, I grew up on a farm and had to treat cows.
Or even just like, I volunteered at a vet place, something. I don't know, man. Somewhere or another, they could have name-dropped something that says why she
knows how to do this.
So much about more of like the medicine side of things. But I digress.
So she and Nick work on the baby Rex as Kelly is like standing there, and you see like the panic set in. She realizes that the noises that the baby Rex is making is definitely going to draw in other animals, other predators, other Rexes.
Yeah, the parents.
So she starts panicking.
Understandable.
Yep. Malcolm takes her up into the high-hide with Eddie. But as they're up there, they hear a Rex roar, and it turns out Mommy and Daddy Rex are coming, and they aren't happy.
No. And also, just quick reference, because we keep talking about the high-hide. What it essentially is I think like a 10 by 10 cage that is hooked up to a winch at the bottom, and you get in it, and it raises you up into the tree line to hide up high from various animals, hence the high-hide.
High-hide. It's a high-hide.
Eddie explained it back in the warehouse, and I realized we at no point had mentioned it. We're just over here throwing the name high-hide around.
Yeah, but I think most people who are watching this have
probably
watched Jurassic Park.
But yeah, all that to say, they're hiding in a giant cage hanging pretty high up off of a tree.
Yep. They attempt to call the trailer to let Nick and Sarah know that the parent Rexes are coming, But Nick and Sarah are bloody and busy, so they do not answer.
Like, Nick tried to once, but even Sarah was like, get your ass back here. I need your help.
Yeah, she said, like, she needed his hands at a certain place. Mm-hmm. So Malcolm gets down out of the high hide and runs to the trailer, barely making it in as Kelly and Eddie watch the Dino parents arrive.
Which, can you imagine being Kelly in that scenario? Your dad just, like, literally hooked up to a harness and rappelled down the rope.
Fell down.
Yeah. And he told him, like, squeeze, the harder you squeeze, the slower you go. And you hear him on the rope just fly down and smack the ground. And even Eddie's like, you probably should have squeezed a little harder.
Yeah.
But, like, you just watch your dad rappel down to the ground to get to this trailer to warn them, and then you watch the trees. Like, she didn't even really see the Rex. She saw the trees shaking and the thud of the footsteps.
Yep.
Dude, I would be freaking the hell out because that's your dad, and now he's solid chance going to get destroyed by a pissed off T-Rex.
And not only is that your dad, but that's like you're way off the island.
Yeah.
You know, you're on an island with a couple other people. You only know 2 of the people that are there, and you don't know if you're going to get back off.
Yeah. So all I have to say, she was hella brave in the face of absolute terror.
She was. This next scene then was pretty scary, in my opinion. One dino on either side of the trailer.
Can you imagine?
No. Sarah, Nick, and Malcolm stand as still as they can to see what will happen, and they realize, well, Sarah realizes that the parents aren't hunting, like,
they're searching
for food. They are searching for their baby. So they drop little baby Rex off outside the trailer. Eddie calls them from the high hide, stating that the Rex family is leaving.
All right. So, they think the Rex family is leaving. So Nick, Sarah, and Malcolm are just kind of in the trailer, like, catching their breath. But, like, Jesus, that was intense, dude. We just got stared down by not 1, but 2 T-Rexes. Dose Rexes.
I don't even think my hand was in the shot. I'm just like...
And, like, Malcolm's just kind of sitting there. He's on the phone with Eddie. And he just freezes and tells everyone to hang on to something.
It's like, this is going to be bad or something like that.
And, like, you don't even see it, but you know. So the whole trailer starts to roll, and you know Mommy and Daddy Rex are back and pissed. Mm-hmm. So they straight up come in there and start attacking the trailer. It's a pretty suspenseful scene. Half the trailer, they realize very quickly that now that the trailer's flipped, it's also being pushed off the cliff. Which is, like, you know, smart Rex move, you know.
These dinosaurs are very smart.
Yeah, man. So it starts getting pushed off. They're freaking the hell out because, like, how the hell are we going to get out of this? And that's when Eddie shows up in his little car. Eddie, I said at the beginning, and I'll continue to say it, Eddie is the real MVP of this story.
He is Eddie. My man.
So the back half of the trailer is flipped over and now dangling off. The front half is still up on the cliff, but it is slowly being dragged off because you have all that weight behind it. So he scurries in there. He can't get the door open, so he scurries in through the broken out front windshield and yells down like, you know, what do you guys need? And, like, I love that in the face of their very realistic death. All 3 of them are just such smart asses.
And they wanted McDonald's.
Yeah. Malcolm's asking for 3 double cheeseburgers with everything. Nick says no onion on mine. Sarah's asking for an apple turnover. Mm-hmm. Like, it was me and I was Eddie. I was like, you know what? The hell with this.
I'm going to leave your rope back in the car.
But, so he goes, gets a rope, ties it to a tree, throws it down so they can climb out.
Yep.
And he sees the trailer still going. So, dude, you got to give it to him. He was, like, freaking out and slipping and sliding through the mud. But, like, he grabs the winch cable from his and runs over, and the line he pulled out stops like a foot before it and knocks him on his ass. Pulls more line out, hooks that up. At this point in time, his rope had come loose and they fell, so he had to retie that, finish hooking up the winch, get back in his car, fucking slam that thing in reverse, and just put the pedal down and does everything he possibly can to save them. And then the parent T-Rexes show up for, this will be the 3rd time. And he's just in a little Mercedes, I'm pretty sure. Like a specifically off-road modified Mercedes. And these Rexes come up and rip the roof off. And he's, even for Eddie, in the face of assured death, this dude is still trying everything he can to save.
His foot is on that pedal.
He has stuffed himself down into the floorboard of this car but he still has his leg contorted over, so it's on the gas pedal. So the car's still flying in reverse. He's still trying to, and he's trying to pull out his gun that has this insane neurotoxin. He talks about the beginning of it. I'm not going to get into it now because I can't begin to describe it. But the short and sweet of it is that basically these dinosaurs will die before they even know that the dart has hit them. It's that potent. And he's trying to get it out of there so he can defend himself. And like the front sight gets caught on some netting. He can't get the gun pulled up. Yeah. One of the Rexes grabs his leg, drags him out of the car, and then they each bite half of him and rip him in half. And all that to say, R.I.P. Eddie. You were
Eddie.
The hero they needed, but didn't deserve.
They didn't deserve Eddie.
So Eddie's gone.
Yeah, he gone.
Big rip. The Rex parents leave again because, I don't know, they now have a kill and they're happy.
Well, because the trailer like falls, so they know that.
Yeah, at this point the trailer falls off, the car falls off, and like so they're Malcolm, Nick, and Sarah hanging onto that rope, and the trailer falls perfectly around them, so they just kind of ride the rope through it. Which no, there's no way in hell. But whatever, I'll let it go. Trailer and car go tumbling off the cliff. Yep. There's an explosion. One of the tires comes up and like
just
is right next to them, and then falls back down.
Yeah,
it was a cool shot.
It was.
So they finally are able to climb up the rope, which you and I talked about. Like, I don't know that I would have been able to pull myself up that rope. First of all, I am not a small guy. I got a bit of a heftiness to me, and even with the adrenaline going, I don't know that in the rain and everything, I don't know that I would have pulled that off.
I don't think I could have pulled it off in no rain.
Yeah.
Like we said, like maybe 5-10 feet. Any more than that, I'm just letting go.
You know what? I'll just take my chances on the rocks down below.
There's no way.
But anyways, they finally come up over the edge and they find that the remaining InGen team is there because I don't know, they just are. Because
Rowland at one point he like picks up the broken lock. Sorry, I have to move. My leg's numb.
Nah, you're good. Yeah, the one that Nick had cut. With bolt cutters.
Yeah, so Rowland picks up a broken lock and he says, like, they're not the only ones there. Although, it could have just been one of the guys in their crew trying to sabotage. Just saying. But...
well, with a twist.
But anyway, so Rowland knew that there was someone else there, so obviously the Rexes must have made a lot of noise. Yeah. So he brought the crew over to see who else was on the island.
As you do.
So the two teams discuss the situation that they're in. All of the communication satellites that InGen had were destroyed in the Dino Stampede, and all of our team's gear went over the cliff with the trailers. The decision is made to find a village that Hammond and his team had started but abandoned when Isla Nublar hit the fan. The only problem is the Raptors.
Of course there's Raptors.
Of course.
Also, real quick too, they have to walk, and like while we were watching the movie, you and I had discussed like, are there no vehicles left?
Right.
Like even if they had just a couple, that like a small team could have gone off
a
ahead
scout team, yeah,
to get there. And I was just thinking, there were 3 vehicles that our team had: the RV trailer combo, and then 2 of the little off-roading vehicles.
The first car went over when the T-Rexes first came.
Yes, you're right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. That was how they knew the Rexes were there.
Yes, because the car just went...
Suddenly you see it just barrel rolling off the cliff, because I assume... Jesus, that
Sorry
rain,
if you can hear the rain.
Surprise downpour out of nowhere. But
Jeez.
I like to imagine that a T-Rex came barreling in and literally just punted this car.
Yeah.
That is how I want to imagine it, is literally just kicked it. It's like,
hey guys, we're here. We came for our baby.
Yeah. All right, well, never mind. Thank you for clearing that up for me. I was going to say, like, why didn't they take a vehicle?
Sure.
Why didn't they do that? But
yeah, no, because the Rexes already knocked them out. So the team sets off on their like day-and-a-half walk to the village, as it's really their only hope to get off the island, with a communications room that's run on geothermal energy. Because
Hammond wasn't a dummy. That was his whole thing, is he wanted to make sure that like the energy was as self-sustaining as he possibly could get it to be.
He was dangerously optimistic.
Yeah.
But not dumb. And there is a big difference between those two things.
Yeah, man.
So Rowland, realizing that Nick is a sort of environmental radical, jokes with him about the Rex that he wants to kill, and Nick tries to take his gun.
Yeah, it's like, hey, let me see your gun right there.
And he's like trying to make jokes with him, like trying to be friendly, but...
I'm sure with ulterior motives, and I'm sure that's why Rowland kind of gave him the cold shoulders, because he knew too.
It is ulterior motives. Spoiler alert.
What a twist. All right, so Rowland announces that the team needs to rest, and then he asks Sarah if she's hurt because there's lots of blood all over her shirt.
She's leaving a blood trail.
She brushes up against sleeves and whatnot,
yeah.
which like that doesn't make sense. There's no way that there's that much blood on her shirt that hasn't soaked in. But either way,
in the humidity.
Yeah. So anyways. Leaving a lot of blood, just leaving a blood trail, and she says, no, I'm not hurt. This is from the baby Rex, which, and we're going to cover that here in a minute, is so dumb on her part.
She's so dumb.
For someone who's as smart as she is, so dumb. Anyways, Dieter heads off in the woods to take a leak. He tries telling one guy, but this dude's just bebopping to some music and not paying any attention to anything around him, just nomming on, like, I don't know, honestly, it looked like chocolate. I'm sure it was some sort of like protein bar thing. But Dieter, heads out into there and is confronted by another Compy. Solid chance the same one because I don't know.
It was.
Yeah, I think it was too because the second he pulled out the cattle prod, it took off.
Yep.
Whereas the first time he met it, he had it and holding it, and the Compy and gave no shits.
Yep.
So I think it was the same one.
I do too. I think it was trailing him.
Yeah. So he's confronted by this Compy. Runs scared. He gets lost in the woods 20 yards from camp. And, like, I'm going to complain about him a lot later, and I'm going to reference this specifically. But, so he gets lost, he continues on, he's yelling for the guy, he said, hey, I'll be back, and that dude can't hear him.
Because he's still bebopping.
And here's the thing, too, there was someone else sitting
right
5 feet from that guy. How did no one hear Dieter yelling for him?
Maybe they didn't want to hear him.
That's fair. I would probably leave him in the woods, too. So, he's walking around. He falls down a cliff like an idiot, loses his gun in the process like an idiot.
Yep.
And what do you do? Oh, he also lost his cattle prod, which is okay. And then
I wish it would have stung him on the way.
Right. Especially as he landed in water. Just give him a good zolt.
Oh, yeah.
But, and at this point in time, a lot more Compy start running at him. He's throwing rocks at him, just trying to get him away from him. He's running. They all swarm him, I think, twice. One, like, bit his lip and everything. He keeps running. Finally, he climbs over like this log, and all we get is the shot of the log. We hear him fall on the other side into the creek, and like so many Compy start swarming over and attacking him. You hear his yells, and then the water turns red, and he gone. Which
Bye.
Honestly, good. I hated Dieter.
Yeah, for sure. I was really, really happy when that water turned red. It was just like
the worst.
I don't want to see people hurt and see blood, but
also, if someone had to go,
exception.
It's good that it was him.
Yes.
And you know what? Honestly, the way he went, that's justice.
Yeah.
But anyways, at this point, okay, so they get up and they start moving on again, right? Not long before Rowland realizes that he's missing a man. So he takes a small team, just I think like 2 or 3 other guys with him, to go out and find him, and tells the crew, like, here, however far along you're going to come to, like, this, there's a cliff there, walk till you hit that, stop there, make camp, I'll catch up with you there, we're going to go see if we can find this guy. He even says if he's alive, I'll find him.
Yep.
So they take off. Night falls upon the team. They have set up a camp, which...
That's a dramatic way to say it. I like it.
Thank you.
Night falls upon the team.
Thank you. It's really foreshadowing for what's about to happen. Also, dude, I don't care how tired I am. Extreme exhaustion would have had to set in to force me to sleep. Like, they are all out in the open. I would have been so panicked.
You sleep
through everything. No, I know.
Everything.
But also, like, you're about to walk up onto where all the raptors nest. You're potentially, because at the beginning of this too, the paleontologist dude, was it Burke?
Dr. Burke.
And Sarah were arguing back and forth on whether or not the Rex would track them this far. Like, all that considered, like, dude, I'd be panicked the whole time.
So, yes, but I think only a small faction of them actually know this information.
That's fair.
I don't think that they shared that the Raptors were there with everybody. Because it was like they were in a kind of small group talking about it.
That's true. Where a lot of like the team overall was still probably trying to like salvage what they could and whatnot. Okay, you know what? That's fair.
Maybe. I mean, still, you're on an island with dinosaurs.
Yeah, if I was one of the people who knew the scenario, dude, I don't know how much restful sleep I'd be getting. Anytime I heard any noise, I'm sitting there just gun in hand, like, all right, let's do this. Death comes for me. Let's rock. But anyways, So again, it's the sleepy time.
Yep.
Everyone's asleep with the exception of like Ajay, Rowland's hunting BFF, and honestly, I don't think Ajay gets any speaking lines, but he
has a couple.
Does he?
They're not very long. It's just very short. He says not to run into the.
Oh yeah, he honestly is one of my favorite characters.
He's very stoic.
Yeah, I don't even know what about him makes him one of my favorites, but he is. Anyways.
He's a stoic, steadfast companion that we all crave.
Yeah, man. Everyone needs an Ajay in their life. So anyways, Ajay's still awake, scanning the horizon, watching over all the sleepy sleepers.
So, yes, and he knows that Rowland is back before he really sees him. Mm-hmm. And I will mention it in my retcon, but there's a reasoning behind that. And like you don't know that because you haven't seen. There's a deleted scene. We'll talk about it later, and it explains that a little bit more. Yeah. So it makes that moment like that much more important. But okay, go.
So yeah, Ajay is just up, gun in hand, just kind of watching over everyone while they sleep, because this isn't his first rodeo. He was always out in the wilderness of Africa hunting with Rowland. Like he knows what to do. He's the guy I want watching over me while I'm trying to sleep.
He should have been
high danger scenario.
Yeah, he should have been the second in command instead of Dieter.
For sure. I think the reason he wasn't though is because, like Dieter being the second in command, Rowland leaves him to do this and that. Where I think he just wanted to hunt with Ajay, which is why he's like,
I think
this a-hole can be left in charge. Me and Ajay are gonna dip out.
Me and Ajay, we going.
Do some bro chilling in the woods.
Some bro chilling.
You're ridiculous.
I'm not gonna judge, man.
Anyways, so Ajay knows that Rowland has returned.
Yep.
He asks, did you find Dieter? And Rowland just says, only the pieces they didn't like. Mm-hmm. So he gone.
He gone. Bye.
They discuss a plan. Like, hey, Rowland tells him, like, I found the village we're going to need to. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to scale these cliffs. It's going to be a hard climb. Let everyone sleep for at least another hour. Then we'll wake them up and we'll start making the climb down there. Because, he understands that these people need to rest.
Sure.
They have been going hard for a day.
And just like the mental exhaustion of being terrified all the time.
So Malcolm starts making his way back towards, like, through the camp. Mm-hmm. And you see the puddles and you see, like, the shock wave step from T-Rex is going in there. He instantly knows, like, oh, shit.
Yep, they back.
We look, the scene kind of changes to Sarah and Kelly are sharing a tent, and they're both just passed out. And I think the footsteps wake up Sarah, and she looks up and she has her coat that is covered in Baby Rex blood hanging in the tent, which, like, is a big no-no. I'm not very, I don't know shit about predatory animals, but I know that's not something you do. You bury that shit.
See, but what's awful too is even because you thought like, oh, she saw that, she realized. No, she looked up and then looked down and panicked and hid the food. She thought the T-Rex smelled the food. That's how stupid. I don't want to say that they wrote her, but like.
But yeah.
Really?
You don't. Anything covered in blood like that, you don't leave it out where the scent can travel. And I don't think you're supposed to burn it either.
This hurts
I think
me.
You're supposed to bury it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's hanging up, just attracting the Rex. And, that kind of really foreshadows the fact, earlier Dr. Burke had mentioned, like, no, they won't track us,
right.
blah, blah, blah.
No, they do.
And Sarah even talks about how they have, like, the biggest olfactory of, pretty much all of the dinosaurs. And
next to a turkey vulture.
Yes, Shelby, you are correct. But, like, they can easily, smell these guys for miles.
Yep.
And now that they've kind of encroached on the T-Rex territory, now the Rex is being very aggressive in defending it, so of course it's going to track him, and of course it's tracking the scent of this blood, because she's a dipshit and has been wearing this jacket the whole time, brushing up against shit, like, so dumb.
Yep,
so anyways, Ma and Pa Rex are here, and they're pissed still, because you a-holes took their baby and broke its leg.
Yeah, and that's the thing, so for all they know, Sarah and Nick and Malcolm and Kelly are the ones who broke the baby's leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
They don't know that it was Rowland and Ajay.
So, I like to think it was just Rowland. I doubt.
I know, me
like
too.
To think Ajay
I know, that's why. I don't know if you saw the look on my face. I was like, Ajay.
But, so Malcolm's watching. This Rex has its entire face in the tent, smelling this jacket. And, like, Kelly wakes up, starts freaking out, and Sarah's just holding her mouth shut, like, you gotta shut the hell up. You gotta be quiet.
Yeah.
So, like, Kelly's crying. Totally understandable. I would be pissing myself, scared. Malcolm's just frozen, like, just watching, like, hoping nothing happens. Right. Hoping the Rex just, leaves. And some a-hole wakes up, and...
It's the guy who was beat-bopping to the music.
Yeah.
He's the one who screams.
Fun fact, like, he's also the one who gets stepped on.
Stepped on by the Rex.
And was stuck to the Rex's foot as it's walking. It's like an old piece of gum.
Yeah. Ew.
But he starts yelling, "That rain.
Rain.
Round 2, downpour. Doesn't it know we're trying to record a podcast?"
Come on, man.
Horribly inconsiderate. He starts screaming.
Yep.
Rex realizes, oh, there's people here.
Oh.
Okay, dinner time. What's up? Midnight snack. And just chaos ensues at this point.
Yeah. So Rowland picks up his gun and he tries to shoot one of the Rex parents. I don't know if he knew it was the dad, because he said he only wanted to kill the dad. But anyways, he tries to shoot one of them, but his gun doesn't fire, and he opens it up, and here the tips of the bullets are gone. What do you call that? That's actually
like the actual bullet.
The actual bullet. So
the
actual
is just like the shower casing.
Okay, the actual bullet is gone, but the casing is still in there, and he's just like,
so mad instantly.
Yeah.
Which I don't think. I think the bullet might have pierced the Rex skin, but there is no way in hell that gun is taking down that T-Rex. I refuse to believe that.
I wonder if you shot it in the eye, if it could go into the brain.
That would, yeah, but
still one shot.
See how small that, compared to its body, how small that eye is?
Well, yeah, but he's a big game hunter, man. He knows what he's doing.
I know. I'm not on board for this. I am sitting in camp. There's no way that gun is taking down that Rex.
I know.
No way in hell.
I agree. It's a movie.
I know, but still. Dude brings an elephant gun to a dinosaur island, which, like, I get, like, yeah, okay, that is the gun you bring, I guess, but I don't see it happening.
I would bring a cannon. I don't know, something.
I wouldn't go to Dinosaur Island. I'm just saying. It seems like a real bad idea. You're right, I would go to Dinosaur Island.
I thought we were going to have to get a divorce.
Retcon Air ruins another marriage. Or rather, takes its first victim. I don't know, man. It just, all around, the fact that this dude signed on just so he can hunt a T-Rex, like, I get it, because it's true to his character.
Though, too.
Yeah.
I'm sure. He turned down the money, but I bet, like, that sweetened the deal. Anyways.
I still just maintain, like, it's a double barrel gun and you're sitting there. It's not dropping a Rex.
Okay.
Anyways, moving on before we we argue more on this.
All right.
It's
me?
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's your part. My B. I'm sorry. I'm in the zone now. Arguing about Rowland.
Okay. So one Rex parent takes off after our crew plus Dr. Robert Burke, while the rest of the InGen crew run a different way away.
Scatter!
Seriously. Hiding in a crevice behind a waterfall, our crew is safe, but there's a snake, and, bye, Dr. Burke.
Yeah, crawls into his shirt, he freaks out, runs outside the waterfall, because why wouldn't you? I'd rather take a snake bite than a T-Rex bite, but that's just me.
Snake, you might have to suffer. Rex, you're just like, gone.
Touche.
I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
My chances of survival with the snake are a little bit higher than the Rex.
Yeah, sure. All right.
But anyways.
Malcolm comes running in, and at first they only see his shadow, so they think the Rex is back, but it's him. And he's, obviously grateful that Nick saved his little family.
He even makes sure to tell Nick thank you, which is cool.
Yep. And they follow the path that the InGen crew had made. We also see Rowland get out a big tranquilizer gun to shoot one of the Rex parents during the chaos, and I'm guessing this is similar to, like, what Eddie had, if I had to guess.
Eddie's was more of a toxin to kill.
I don't think so. It would kill a human. He said it would take an animal down. The animal would fall before it felt it, but I don't know that he said it would kill it.
See, I could have sworn, because he was talking about it was made from, like, I think a puffer fish or something like that. Like, he was talking about, like, all the toxins in it, and it sounded very kill you, but I could be wrong.
They're dinosaurs, though.
They're dinosaurs.
No, but you might be right. But anyways,
the gun itself, I'm pretty sure, was the same, though.
Yeah. So I really love this next scene, then.
So, first and foremost, if you're on Dinosaur Island, you avoid the tall grass. That's rule number 3. Followed by, don't piss off the dinosaurs, and don't hunt the dinosaurs. Anyways.
Okay.
I'm making these up as I go.
Yep. I was just thinking about them as you were saying them. Okay, that's acceptable, I guess.
So, we see the InGen teams just book it into tall grass. Just their only concern is getting away from the T-Rex, which again, in this scenario, totally fair. I get it. But as they run in a straight line, you have Ajay yelling at them. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't. I don't think it was Ajay. I think it was Ludlow was telling them not to go into the grass. Either way.
He's not smart enough. Maybe it was.
Right,
Maybe it was, but...
But anyways, someone's yelling, like, don't go into the tall grass. Whether it was Ajay or Ludlow, I don't know. I don't really remember.
They both run into it anyways, though.
They're yelling, don't run into the tall grass, as they run into the tall grass.
Yep.
Made no sense. But, like, as the team's running, you see 2 or 3 raptors just kind of, like, sit up, like, oh, what's up? Dinner was delivered tonight.
Honestly, we talked about, like, this is one of the scenes that stuck with me from this movie. Like, it is just so... menacing. I don't know. It was just so cool.
It's
and then
so
to
terrifying.
And then to see the grass. It's like when they saw the T-Rex, the trees moving from the T-Rex. You see the grass just start laying down,
it's
and
just
you know it's the Raptors coming in.
An aerial shot of all these people running a beeline. Yeah, you see 3 or 4 like other lines come in from the sides of that, and you're like, shit's about to get real. And then like the raptor screech, for a lack of a better term.
I love the noises they make.
Oh my god, but that sound just instantly instills fear. Like, like, we are fucked.
Makes your beehole pucker.
It really does, man. Well done, Shelby. Well done.
Alright, I'm out.
This color commentary was brought to you by Shelby.
Which is weird. Okay.
Anyways, so they're running. There's raptors left and right. They are. One dude stops. That always irritates me. Like, you don't stop running. You keep going. You don't look back. You keep your head down, and you just, as fast as you can go, you beeline. You don't turn around.
Right.
And this dude stops, turns around, and yells as a raptor lunges on him. Like, you know what, man? You deserve the raptor to the face. You should have kept running. You don't... Rule of the jungle. You don't gotta be the fastest. You just have to be faster than the slowest.
Yeah.
And you just made yourself the slowest by stopping.
Yeah.
Idiot. You stupid. Anyways. So now our crew of Nick, Malcolm, Sarah, and Kelly have now, at this point, made it to the tall grass and see the trail that, InGen is blazing. So they just kind of follow in their footsteps and they keep going. And then they stop because, like, was it Nick found his pack or...
Ajay's pack. And,
But while they're stopped, like, they kind of are able to take in their surroundings, realize they are, and Malcolm can hear the raptors in the distance, and even he tells them, run as fast as you can, run. Yep. So they book it, they make it through the grass, but then they slide down this little, like, worn water spillway down the cliff, essentially.
Which is convenient, because otherwise they would have had to try to climb down it.
And honestly, that was probably the best place for them to fall, because it was more of just like a natural slide for them to go down, whereas if they tumbled down the cliff, they were going to get pretty hurt. And that being said, Malcolm does get hurt. I think he just hurt his leg or something.
Like
nothing,
twisted his ankle.
Not enough to take him out of the game, but enough that he needs to rest for a second. And Sarah even tells him, like, sit your ass down, catch your breath. Nick just grabs a flashlight and is like, hey man, I'm going to go on. We have no time to waste. Every second counts. I'm going to go on, try to find the place, get it up and running. You guys, follow when you can.
He took the notebook that had the coordinates and all that stuff in it too,
and all that, and just a big old flashlight, and booked it.
Yep.
So after a couple minutes of letting Malcolm catch his breath and whatnot, they follow suit and head on into the compound as well. Nick gets there, and the place, it's been abandoned for 4 years. 4 years. Was it they abandoned it because, like, a storm came in, was gonna, like a hurricane or some shit, was gonna just destroy the place?
It was after everything happened on New Bryar, and then a storm came and wiped out like half of the dinosaurs. So they were like, we gotta go. We
gotta dip out.
Yep.
So the place has been set and abandoned for 4 years. It is overgrown. Windows are broken. Nature reclaims the landscape.
Very Jurassic Park.
Very Jurassic Park. So he's going through. There's one point. There's a mural on the wall of a T-Rex, and Nick shit his pants for a second. Which, man, after everything's been through, I get it.
Yeah, for sure.
But he finds the room. He flips the giant breaker to turn everything on. He starts making a mayday call. He gets in touch with the InGen, like, actual base camp, and just says, like, you need to send helicopters. People are dying. Here's our coordinates. Get your ass here now.
Yep.
And by now, I mean you should have been here 10 minutes ago.
Right.
So that's happening. And then we get to see the realization of Hammond's nephew's eyes when he walks up to Rowland, and you don't see it, you just hear very heavy breathing. You're just left to guess that Rowland was able to tranquilize that Rex.
Yep.
Which, the balls on this dude. Like, I get charging this thing with a gun, but, like, you're charging it with a tranquilizer gun, and you don't even know that that's a high enough dosage to work. You know what, man? I wouldn't have done it. I would have taken one shot and then booked it, thinking
Rowland.
if anything, this would at least slow it down.
Rowland don't mess around, man.
He don't mess around. So yeah, Ludlow's eye is all wide-eyed and giddy and whatnot, looking at what we are left to assume is the tranquilized T-Rex.
Yep.
And then scene change again back to our little family trio of Malcolm, Sarah, and Kelly make it to... Now they have made it to the compound where Nick is supposed to be, and they are calling for it. And if there's anything we've learned from watching any and all of the Jurassic Parks is you don't yell. You talk quietly. Yelling attracts dinosaurs.
Hello.
God. And, like, also here's a funny point, too, that we had talked about, because when Eddie, Nick, and Malcolm are looking for Sarah, Malcolm's yelling Sarah, and Nick comes in and says her last name, like Sarah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And Malcolm looks at him like, how many Sarahs do you think are on this island?
Right.
So now we flash back to where we're at now, and they're yelling Nick, and Malcolm yells out Nick's first and last name too. Like, you just made fun of him a day prior for doing exactly this.
Right.
You hypocritical dick.
So the Raptors start to come in one by one. Malcolm tries to distract them as he tells the girls to, like, just get into
run.
any building that you can. Anywhere that has a door, just get in it and lock yourselves in there. They enter a tool shed as he temporarily distracts the raptor that's in there. Malcolm tries to get into the building too, but he ends up in a car just sitting and watching as this raptor, there's a bullet hole, right? And that's...
it was... So, real quick, even prior to that, when he runs into, like, the window front
it's a gas
station, and the raptor just, like, jumps the window like you thought glass was going to stop me.
Yep.
Holds up a door and gets and the raptor checks him out the window.
Yep.
Anyways, no, that was... He got in and sat down just as the raptor tackled the car, and that crack was from the raptor hitting it.
Okay, so the raptor starts to try to break through that to get in, and he's just watching it.
I mean, what do you do? I would have been kicking the raptor in the face, but that's just me.
The girls are desperately trying to dig under the back wall of the little tool shed that they're in because there are two raptors trying to come into the door that they came in. So those raptors start digging under it too. Sarah notices that the noises stop, but she's like, Kelly, go, you got to get out here. Kelly, like, sticks her head into the hole, and then the raptor's just like, hey guys, I'm here. They came around.
Surprise!
So the raptors, obviously trying to come in under that back wall. So the girls climb up into the rafters of the building, up into the upper levels. Malcolm gets away from his raptor, and he enters the tool shed, not realizing that the raptor went around and made it inside. So Kelly is awesome and drops down using the bars and does these gymnastics moves and ends up kicking the raptor out the back wall, and he gets impaled on some poles, which is really awesome. Mm-hmm. And, like, Malcolm drops down and he's like, wait, you got cut from the gymnastics team? What?
Yeah, because that was part of their whole argument at the very beginning was... He's like, well, what about gymnastics? And she was all mad because he didn't know that she had gotten cut from the team because he has no idea what's going on in her life.
So she and Malcolm run out as Sarah climbs, one raptor following her to the rooftops. She uses the shingles to cause that one on the roof to fall onto the one that was below her, and she, like, watches as they fight, which again is stupid. Like, keep going.
Yeah, you don't stop. You keep moving. Like, she falls and, like, falls to the ground. They don't see her because they're fighting. And, like, she shimmies over to that, like, up against the wall and just stops to watch them. Like, you keep moving.
Go, girl.
Stop stopping. God, just run.
Go.
So, anyways, at this point, the InGen rescue helicopter has arrived, and, Nick's at the door yelling for them to get their asses over there because it's time to go. And so they all make it safely onto the helicopter. I think Malcolm was like, well, what about everyone else? And the helicopter dude's just like, there's another chopper coming. Just get in. We got to go.
Yep.
So they're on it. They're flying to safety. And that's when we find out that Nick is the one who took the bullets out of Rowland's gun. And he makes the comment like, that's a trophy he won't be keeping or whatever it is, and lets the bullets just fall on the ground.
Yep.
So they're flying overhead, and they kind of see the makeshift InGen camp that's now going again. And they see the adult T-Rex in that, like, cage thing that they have him in all unconscious and whatnot, because he's been heavily sedated. Mm-hmm. Which, man, maybe don't capture the T-Rex. Maybe don't capture the animals in general. That's just my thought, you know.
Don't take babies, don't take animals. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it. So, anyways, they see that, you know, Rowland and Ludlow have the daddy Rex all caged up and whatnot. We kind of flash down to this scene on the ground, and, you know, Ludlow's telling them that he wants the baby Rex found and transported back, but he wants it done on a jet separately from the daddy Rex. And then, you know, Ludlow's like, "Oh, Rowland, you did it. You got your trophy, etc." And Rowland's just very somber and wants none of this bullshit. And that's when he explains that, like, he's no longer... Because Ludlow says, you know, you got your prize. You got your Rex. Rowland tells him, like, he's no longer interested in it. He's been around death far too long. And we find out here that Ajay had died in what we're left to interpret as, you know, the Raptor attack.
Sure.
Which you had looked into a little bit more and found out there was a scene that was either deleted or was never filmed where it was supposed to show him being taken out by the Raptors.
Different people talked about whether it was filmed or wasn't filmed. I don't know. But yeah, I guess there's discussion of the fact that Ajay was killed by one of the Raptors.
And, you know, it really, really bummed Rowland out, which I mean, I get. It was, you know, seemingly his best friend. So,
I scrolled too far, sorry.
It's alright. So then this is where we see our team, Nick and Sarah and Malcolm and Kelly, fly over the confined T-Rex, and they just want to go home, which I get, dude. I would want the same. So now we kind of jump ahead an undisclosed amount of time. I assume a full day, because it's still night. Like, it was night when
I would say at least a day, if not more. It was going to take forever for them to get the Rex back.
Yeah, because they're taking it via boat.
Yeah.
So there's an undisclosed time jump. Ludlow's doing a press conference at an InGen building that's at the waterfront, and they're waiting for the SS Venture, the ship that's bringing in Dad Rex. And one of the harbor master comes out and is like, I can't get them to respond to the radio. They are going way too fast. Malcolm and Sarah get there just in time to watch this ship come out of the darkness and plow into the dock. Yeah. Just destroys it. So everyone climbs onto the ship to figure out, like, what the hell happened. We realize that the crew has been destroyed. There's just pieces of them.
Chunks.
There's just, like, a hand still holding on to the wheel. No one knows what happened. And then some dipshit is like, hey, well, someone yells to check the cargo hold because there might be people down there, and some dipshit finds the button and goes to open it. Keep in mind, this whole time the cargo door is, like, trying to close and keeps stopping on something.
Yeah.
So he opens it, and wouldn't you know it, Daddy Rex is awake and pissed. So comes storming out of there, starts wrecking shop, just destroying stuff, trying to eat people. A couple
He's in America, man. He's
just
free.
Dive into the water to get away from him, barely escaping the jaws of death that is a T-Rex. And now Daddy Rex is free in America to do whatever the hell he wants. Because, like, I don't know, he's the new guy in town. And there isn't a whole lot that could stop him.
No.
So Sarah is talking to Malcolm and says, you know, he's going to look for, you know, he's dehydrated, he's going to look for water, and then he's going to look for food. We need to get him back to the boats. They came looking for the baby before. It's likely he'll do the same, so we got to find baby Rex. So they confront Ludlow and, like, where the hell is the baby?
Where you got that baby, yo? So
they go to take off to find it. We, you know, change scenes to the Rex drinking some water out of someone's backyard pool. There's a dog there. It eats the dog. Also, there's that whole scene of, like, the little boy wakes up and sees the Rex outside the window and stays remarkably calm.
Yeah, he's just like
Like,
Daddy.
Yeah, he goes into his parents' room, like, takes the covers off of him and wake him up. Like, there's a T-Rex, there's a dinosaur in the backyard.
Yeah.
And, like, they're mad because their kid woke him up, and they think it's because, like...
Nightmares.
Or, like, he eats too late in the nights, which gives him nightmares, or, like, it's the fish tank, or it's this or that, and then they stop and see the T-Rex start screaming.
Yep.
And the little boy just takes a picture.
He's just calm, cool, collected.
So, then, the Rex eats the dog. So then we flash back to Sarah and Malcolm, and they're hauling ass into the original Jurassic Park arena, stadium, whatever park that Hammond was building. That's where Baby Rex is. So they go in there, they realize it's hella sedated. So they get it out, they get it in the back of the car, and like security shows up, guns drawn to stop him. And Malcolm's like, look, if you want to stop us, you're going to have to shoot me. Deuces. And takes off. So then they pull up to where the Rex is. And this is one of the scenes that, you talked about the Raptors scene for you was what stuck with you. This is one of the scenes that stuck with me is the giant orange 76 gas station ball comes just rolling past them. So, like, they're talking about how, like, they need the Baby Rex to wake up to make noise so Daddy Rex can, like, chase him, but it's still sedated. And it just makes, like, this pitiful little whimper. And, like, Dad Rex just snaps over and sees them.
Dad of the year, man.
And it was just like, he was just like, you.
I know you. You have my baby again.
So they take off, and Rex follows suit. They get to the waterfront, and they just plow straight into a warehouse,
and then stop.
I imagine there's an open door somewhere they could driven through, but they just go right through the wall, and then they get out.
They drove past open doors. Now that you say that, they drove past plenty of open doors.
I like to think maybe it's just because they had to start maneuvering like the actual warehouses, and it was easier to do it on foot. But like, I don't know, man. I probably would have stayed with a car at least until I got to the boat.
Yeah,
But anyways.
What are you going to do? It's dumb.
What are you going to do?
So Malcolm picks up the baby and carries him onto the ship then. Hammond's dumb nephew is looking for Baby Rex because now at this point, he could care less what happens to Daddy Rex. He just wants the baby because he realizes that's probably the moneymaker. It's eventually going to be a big Rex, so you get the best of both worlds. He climbs into the cargo bay as he is cooing at this baby dinosaur as if it's a human baby. He's like, hey, are you down there?
So stupid. I also really love the scene too where he's on the radio with someone telling them to shoot the adult, capture the baby, as Malcolm and Sarah run past him with the baby.
Yeah. Luckily, Daddy Rex is not far behind, and he actually gets into the cargo hold before any of Ludlow's guys shoot him. I don't even know if they were trying. He climbs in, and he actually uses Ludlow as like a hunting lesson for his little baby Rex, which was so incredible. You could see there was a moment where like the baby Rex like stopped and like turned, and he's like, "Daddy, is this what I'm supposed to do?" The
Dad Rex guy nudges him like, "Yeah, go ahead, son, finish him."
Bye, Ludlow. Yes,
he won't be missed.
Beautiful.
You're the worst.
Beautiful.
Hated you from 10 minutes into this movie. Glad you gone. Glad Baby Rex is what got you.
Yes. So Malcolm hits the button to close the cargo hold door, and as the door closes, Sarah shoots Daddy Rex with a tranquilizer just as an InGen helicopter is coming over. And they potentially were going to shoot Daddy Rex, but she knocked him out before they could.
So he kind of just dropped down below the doors where they couldn't see him anymore.
Yep.
Thus saving his life. Well done, Sarah. Well done.
But then I said, what if he landed on that baby?
The baby's fine.
What if he landed on that baby?
I don't know. I feel like that probably happens a lot. Just like, they're sleeping, roll over in their sleep, rolling baby. I'm sure the baby's fine.
I'm really glad we never let Oliver sleep in our bed, if that's the idea that you have behind that. He'll be fine.
I'm sure if it happened, the Rex would wake up and be like, oh, sorry, kiddo, and rolls the other way.
Sedated, yes, he would wake up.
Look, it's fine. I'd also like to think that the Baby Rex has enough situational awareness to realize that Dad's falling asleep hard and just rolls out of the way.
Oh, Daddy's coming down real fast.
So anyways, at this point in time, the scene changes, and it's Malcolm, Sarah, and Kelly sitting in Malcolm's apartment, and it's like the shots from behind them of the TV. I just put my hand right in front of the camera.
Hey!
And it's a live news broadcast of the VSS Venture being taken, sailed back to Islas. I already forget the name. Sorna. Yes, it's right there in front of me.
Right.
Why would I read? So the ship's sailing back to Isla Sorna to take the Rex and baby back to the island.
Yep.
And at this point, there is a full Navy escort taking
it's really cool.
back because they aren't taking chances. Which, like, I don't know what... Outside of the ship changing course, I imagine that's why they're there. If someone tries to hijack the ship and, like, take it somewhere else, they just sink it. Like, if the Rex...
it's the same thing with the crew. If something happens and the crew starts dying, they're all there to keep in constant contact so that if they need to get on...
That's fair. Then they just sink the ship. Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. Rex drowns, but... It's...
Baby Rex.
Baby Rex.
And Dad of the Year Rex. Come on, man.
But anyways, the camera pans around. We see that Malcolm and Sarah have just passed out. They're exhausted from everything that's going on. It's understandable. And Kelly's just watching the news broadcast of this finding a way, and then the TV, the news, they switched to a feed of Hammond, because his whole thing was the reason he even sent our team of Nick, Sarah, Malcolm, and Eddie to the island is he needed a full fossil record and all these photographic proof to show that these dinosaurs were thriving in the absence of man, so that he can use this to leverage getting people to leave the island alone.
Right.
Because he doesn't want to reopen the park. He just wants to leave the island as is, like monitor it from afar.
Let them be.
Just let them be, because they're thriving without human interference. He's advocating the isolation and the preservation of the island, and now with everything that's happened, he now has that leverage, which is cool, and that's what he's comes on the news to do is we need to leave the island alone. We need to just dip out.
Yep.
So and then he delivers Malcolm's line from the first movie of life finds a way.
Yep.
And that's it. That's the movie. We're all done. All right, bye.
Bye.
So now let's head into our retcon points. So you want to get us started on this?
Sorry, I scrolled down again.
Good.
Yeah, so I've got 2 for this one. First, I have to talk about Sarah. 1 minute she's doing something like touching a baby stegosaurus, and then the next she's lecturing the rest of the team on how they can't bend a blade of grass, which I know is just she's just saying that. It's not like she actually means they can't bend any grass, but she's just so hypocritical.
Yeah, she goes on and on about the whole there can't be any human interaction or interference with these animals, and
she's touching them,
petting a dinosaur.
And 1 minute she's talking about the Rex parents and how they'll track them by scent, and the next she's wearing the bloody shirt that's literally the baby T-Rex's blood. It makes no sense. It was very hypocritical. I just didn't like the way that her character was written.
And I didn't even think about this, but had she not worn that coat so that the Rex could attract them as easily, there's a solid chance that our favorite paleontologist, Dr. Burke, probably wouldn't have died. The Rex probably wouldn't have been tranquilized and brought back to the States.
That's true.
There's a whole
That's true.
Also, we talked about this too, but whenever they were leaving, they're flying over and they could see the tranquilized Rex and everything like that. As a kid watching this, we both had talked about how we thought that was the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole part of it where it takes place on U.S. soil.
Yeah, that's true.
I wonder, had she not worn that jacket, if any of that would even have happened.
Right. Yeah, it's a very good point.
Way to go, Sarah. You're proud of yourself.
And then my second retcon is the fact that they didn't explain the relationship between Rowland and Ajay. It seemed weird to me because I was doing some research, just some quick research, and there was actually a scene from the very beginning of the movie that was cut, and it was Rowland sitting in this little outdoor cafe seating area, and you actually don't even see him at first. You see Ajay, and he's just walking along, and his face kind of lights up, and here it's because he saw Rowland sitting down. And he goes over, and as he's coming up to him, before Rowland even turns or, he says anything to him, Rowland, snaps his head, and he's like, Ajay. And Ajay is like, how did you know it was me? How did you know that I was here? And Rowland says that he could smell the cologne or aftershave that he had bought for Ajay every Christmas. So, they have a tight relationship.
Which I'm sure is forged in the years of
hunting together or whatever they, whatever
various
they've been through.
expeditions, hunting trips, etc., etc. I'm sure these guys have been through a shit ton of stuff together.
So Roland's like, why are you here? And Ajay says, I came here looking for you. A person contacted me about this expedition, and if I'm gonna go on it, you need to go on it. So I think he actually brought Rowland into this.
Right on.
So he sits down with Rowland, and their faces are just lit up. They're both so happy. They look like children sitting there talking to each other. I mean, it's an incredible scene. And I think it would have made the relationship between them throughout the movie so much stronger. And then it also would have explained how just devastated Rowland was that Ajay was gone, because it was kind of just all of a sudden out of nowhere, this guy that had been with him but you didn't really know is gone, and now he's done doing what he's always done. It just didn't make sense. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's my second one. What about you?
First, the initial scene when the shitty InGen team rolls up and they're, causing a dino stampede and trapping them. You have guys ripping around through there on motorcycles, which was the dumbest thing to me. And honestly, this is just a dumb retcon in general, but You are in an uncharted area. You have no idea what the terrain is like, and you got some assholes on dirt bikes cruising around here. All you need is one dinosaur to hip check a dude, and he's done. He's going down hard.
And not even a dinosaur. What if a stick comes up and gets in the spokes? You know, so many things could like go wrong and get caught up in the motorcycle and like.
Well, just like the one dude drives between the legs of, I think it was like a brachiosaurus or something like that. A long neck, if you're familiar with the Land Before Time.
My favorite.
But like he drives through the legs, like, why did you do that? Just so you could say you could?
Yeah.
Had that dinosaur stepped wrong, you would have been just like crushed.
It would have been way cooler if you went up the dinosaur's tail.
Yeah, and then like a sick backflip off the top of it. Yeah, man, that'd have been dope. But I don't know, just like the practicality of like some of the equipment they had made sense, like the the outfitted dune buggies and all the off-road vehicles and jeeps, and like the weird like jeep where the passenger seat slides out so they can take a shot and then slides back in. Like, I'm cool with all that, but like I draw the lines at assholes on dirt bikes hurting dinosaurs.
Sure.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And I get that's such like a dumb thing to get hung up on, but I watched that and I'm like, no, get these out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. And then second, the entirety of Dieter's character. I hate him. He is a garbage person. I was not sad to see him go.
No.
But like he's supposed to be Roland's second command. And like
he's so stupid.
He's such a dipshit. And also, whenever Nick and Sarah were releasing all the dinosaurs, I'm pretty sure Dieter was just drunk, sleeping it off.
He was trashed, yep.
So like he's supposed to be in second command. He's not even like doing what he's supposed to be doing and keeping an eye on the camp. He's passed out, drunk somewhere.
Yeah.
And like Rowland was so pissed when he came back too. He even said like, that's the last time I ever leave you in charge.
Yep.
And also like he goes off to take a leak. He has that whole thing with the first Compy there. And then like he gets lost. He's 20 yards from camp. Dude, if you are good enough to be Roland's second command, I have to feel like I would be under the impression you are competent in a jungle wood area and you got lost 20 yards from camp.
Yeah, I would think you'd still be able to. And like, also, why are you walking that far away just to take a pee anyways?
I don't know. Honestly, I think dude was trying to drop a deuce because like he
still.
like took all of his gear off. But yeah, that's not the point. The fact is like you wandered that far away, which you are in an area with dinosaurs. You don't wander that far away from the group. And like to get so easily turned around and lost. I'm like, what about you made Rowland think, yes, this is a good second command?
We're not seeing it.
I am not seeing it. Like, I'm looking over your resume. I'm not even hiring you. But yeah, I hated him. I liked the way he went too, where it was just the army of Compies dropped him. And then bonus third item that I just thought about now. I understand Ludlow's desire to bring them back to the park that's in San Fran, but dude, after all the events of the first movie that you know about, you are very well versed in what happened. Why the hell would you ever, A, bring a dinosaur back to the States, and B, bring a T-Rex and its baby back? Jesus, dude, you are so dumb.
So I think that he is disillusioned in the fact that money means way more to him than human life.
And he thinks he can control the dinosaurs, and you can't, bro. You can't.
I don't even know that. I don't think he cares. I think that the money outweighs all of the risks, all of everything else that, like, if people get hurt, they get hurt, but if we make money, that's what matters. Like, that's just my opinion on his character.
So dumb. I wasn't sad to see him go either.
No, he was my favorite death.
Yeah. But that pretty much wraps it up for me. It's a great movie.
Oh yeah,
doesn't stand up to the first movie because the first movie is what introduces us to the dinosaurs, and the first one will be my favorite in the sense of like it was my first introduction to Jurassic Park.
It's so magical.
I also a huge fan of the third one. We'll get to that one eventually.
Yep.
Spoiler. But yeah, all in all, good movie.
Yep.
It's pretty solid story.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Yeah.
All right, Shelves, before we shut her down, any last thoughts from you?
No, sir.
All right. Fun fact, Jurassic Parks 1, 2, and 3 are all on Netflix right now. You should go and watch them. But all that to say, let's wrap this up. Let's get out of here. Thanks for, I know, we live here, but thanks for hanging out with me all the same.
You're welcome. We spent a couple hours of our lives together watching this movie.
Gross. And
now we've spent a couple more talking about it, which is kind of gross, but it's also fun. It's also really hot up here.
Yes, it is very toasty here today. And this was about, I feel like we reached our quota for closeness time for the week, so
for sure. Here
we are on a Monday, and so now we can go the rest of the week without actually having to talk to each other. That's cool. Glad we got it out of the way early in the week.
Ridiculous.
All that to say, hey man, thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks.
And folks, thanks for listening to Shelby and I break down The Lost World Jurassic Park. You're welcome to check us out on Twitter via the at Retcon Air.
Yep.
We do a lot of stuff on Facebook at facebook.com/Retcon Air.
And we have an Instagram now.
And Shelby has recently created us an Instagram, so
check it out. There's like spoilers of upcoming video or upcoming episodes on there, and just kind of an explanation of where we've been to on there. So
cool.
Check it out.
Right on. We're on the vast majority of podcast-based services, like Spotify. I believe we're on iTunes, all that good stuff.
It's Apple Music now, but yes.
Yeah, either way.
Stitcher, probably anywhere that you can find a podcast, we're there.
So all that to say, wherever you listen to us, if there's a spot to give us some positive reviews and some feedback, we'd really appreciate it. Those do help us out a lot, kind of help us kind of steer the channel in a way that's more enjoyable for you, the listener.
We want to do what we like to do, but we want to make it fun for everybody that's going to listen or watch us too. Mm-hmm. So definitely let us know. And if you have any suggestions for future episodes, drop a couple lines saying, hey, it'd be cool if you guys would watch this movie or read this book. Yep. Just give us some ideas for the future. We have a working schedule we're going off of, but we're always open to new ideas. Oh, for sure. And new suggestions. Yep. So all that being said, thanks for listening to us. Thanks for sitting through all this with us, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye. See ya.